Are you wondering if your older PC will suddenly stop booting Linux after this weekend? Do you want to know if the long-awaited Bcachefs file system is finally ready for your data? If so, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do about the upcoming secure boot certificate expiration, and we'll explore why a major new storage option just dropped its experimental tag. We've got a lot to cover, including some big updates for mobile Linux, but we'll get to why that matters for your smartphone in just a moment. First, let's talk about the looming deadline that has dual booters concerned. On June 27th, 2026, that's this coming Saturday, the original Microsoft Secure Boot certificates issued way back in 2011 are set to expire. If you're running a dual boot setup or relying on Secure Boot for your Linux installation, you might be worried about your system refusing to boot. And here's why this actually matters. These certificates are what allow your firmware to verify that your bootloader, whether that's Grub, System Boot, or anything else, hasn't been tampered with. Without valid certificates, a system with secure boot enforcement could, in theory, refuse to load your OS entirely. Before you panic, let's look at the actual situation. The expiration primarily affects the ability to sign new bootloaders using the old keys. Systems with the 2011 certificate already enrolled will continue to boot just fine after the deadline. However, to ensure your system can receive future security updates and bootloader patches, you need the new certificates. Most modern distributions and motherboards handle this automatically through standard updates. Just make sure your system is fully up to date this week, and you should be covered. Moving on to storage. Bcachefs has hit a major milestone. With the release of version 1.38.6, project lead Kent Overstreet announced that the file system is officially no longer considered experimental. For those unfamiliar, Bcachefs is a modern copy-on-write file system designed to compete with Bcachefs and ZFS, offering features like encryption, snapshots, and compression. This new performance release brings massive speed improvements, hitting 16.5 GB per second in D-bench tests on a 48-core AMD EPOAC system. For context, XFS hit 16 GB per second on the same hardware. While it's genuinely exciting to see Bcachefs mature, standard caution still applies. It takes years for a file system to build trust across diverse workloads, hardware configurations, and failure scenarios. So you might want to wait a bit longer before trusting it with your most critical, unbacked up data. We'll be keeping a close eye on its adoption in major distributions. On the desktop front, KDE Plasma 6.7 has officially launched. This update focuses heavily on performance and UI polish, introducing a revamped Plasma big screen mode, support for per-screen virtual desktops, and a global push-to-talk feature. They've also added a multi-GPU swapchain feature to improve Vulkan support, which is particularly useful if you're running a multi-monitor setup with mixed GPU configurations. In the mobile Linux space, postmarketOS 26.06, codenamed Alpine Avocado, was released this week. Based on Alpine Linux 3.24, it brings GNOME 50 to the desktop and KDE Plasma Mobile 6.6.5 to phones. It also replaces the old PBS Splash boot animation with Plymouth, giving it a much more polished startup experience. It's great to see continued progress in providing viable open source alternatives for mobile devices. If you found this breakdown interesting, you need to see what the newly released Linux kernel 7.1 means for your system, especially that massive NTFS driver rewrite and the AI-assisted cleanup of 140,000 lines of obsolete networking code. That video is on screen right now. Please like the video, subscribe to Ton Does Linux, and sign up for the newsletter at tondoslinux.com. Just subscribe to stay up to date. Catch you in the next one.